you've obviously spoken to a lot of people, a lot of women in their 50s, and I also get that back sometimes, that women are starting to feel invisible at that age. What does that come down to? Is that a thing where we're feeling, is this insecurity coming into it, or is that a real physical thing that people just don't look at you anymore? Is that what it is?
Well, I think for a lot of women, they feel that they really are invisible. They go into a shop and, they can't get served. They're not noticed anymore. I don't really know. I mean, some women actually embrace it and say they love to be kind of invisible, and others really hate it. So, look, not everybody is invisible, obviously. I don't feel invisible.
No.
But I guess it's a bit about, as women get to this age, they obviously are starting to age, and their valuation as sort of youthful sex objects, or whether we're valued as for our looks, or for our nurturing as mothers, or whatever. A lot of our roles are changing at this stage of life.
Huge change.
I think that's why things change, and so we stop and we're not quite sure how to value ourselves anymore.
Because you think, well, our value's always been attached to either our physical appearance or our sort of mother nurturing. It's always attached to something else. All of a sudden it's like, well, here we are. There's no attachments. It's just me.
I think so. Well, I think our roles change.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's that we all superficially only value ourselves for our looks. I mean, it's certainly not that. But I think there's an incredible sort of media emphasis on looks, and so a lot of women do value themselves based on how they look, which I think is a great shame. And you would know yourself that celebrities are put under extraordinary scrutiny as they turn 50.
Yeah.
I mean, do we ever ask men how they feel at 50? We don't. We only ask women. Have you still got it, or are you past it?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
Got what?
True. So it's like this superficial sort of void that you're crossing, isn't it? It's
That's
like,
right.
The whole sort of 50 thing. I know I felt that when I was coming up to it, and I was like, but then I looked at it and I thought, why the fear? And I think it's the more I'm about to turn 52, but the more that you're sitting in that as we are now, I think it's a fantastic period of our life.
Oh, it is, because we have all this wisdom and experience. We're much more confident than we were perhaps in our youth. Women of this age also, they feel fantastic. So it's kind of ironic, other societies really value women at this stage of life, and the older you get, the more worth you have.
Yeah.
So,
and that's not necessarily in sort of the Western way, is it?
No. So it isn't. But so I think part of this book is about women trying to celebrate who they are and all the value that they have at this stage of life, and not deny it. I think it's a real shame if people won't admit that they're 50 or in their 50s. I just think that's a great shame. I think it should be something to be really celebrated, and we should be looking at what we can offer younger women in terms of guidance and support, but just also feeling good about ourselves.